What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've decided to change up my intros a little bit. I feel like all the times that I was walking around the garage, it was just a little bit more fake. I was just literally walking around in random places while I was filming. I figured I'd try something different, be a little more direct with the camera. We'll see if I like it better. In the last video, I gave the Evo a full detail. I did clay barring, polishing, and ceramic coated everything. The only pieces that I did not do were the passenger side doors and the trunk and wing back there. I did not do the trunk yet because I really want to find another one that doesn't have the little keyhole, because mine is a base GSR. I hate that thing being back there. It's just an eyesore in my opinion. The wing, if you saw a couple of videos ago, I removed the rear gurney. There was a lot of adhesive left on there and I was really impatient with my eraser wheel and I ended up burning through some of the paint. So I've got to repaint that also. The reason why I did not do the passenger side doors is because, as you can see down here, there is a ton of rock chips. There is a ton of scratches. I think that something just slung up here. I don't know if they hit something, gravel pit, whatever. This was not from me. This was from the previous owner and it looks like they just tried to touch it up with some touch-up paint. Evo is a 2010. It does have some marks. It does have some scratches here and there, but nothing really bad. This is truly the worst part and I just did not want to leave it like this. So I am going to repaint these two doors. Doing these two doors and the side skirt down there is a lot. It's a lot more than what I've tackled in the past. I've gotten pretty good at my bodywork skills. My painting skills I feel like are very good. So I'm pretty confident that these will turn out pretty nice. Stay tuned. If you didn't see the last video, definitely go check it out. I did fully clay bar, fully polish, and ceramic coat the entire car, aside from the trunk and wing back here and the two doors on the passenger side. Sorry, I had to shut the garage door down. It is freezing outside right now. If you look down here, this is where all of the damage is at. You can see all of those little spots, that little rocks or something slung up there and hit it. It goes all the way over into the middle of the door, and then there's some little small spots right up in here too. Side skirt took a lot of the damage also, so I'm going to be repainting that too. I don't know if it shows better in this light, but you can definitely see all those little spots. Some of them look very deep. I did not want to just polish over the top of that and then lay that ceramic coating on it. The car is not perfect. There are little spots here and there everywhere, but nothing is near as bad as all of this. The front door is not as bad, but the marks that are there, they are very big. You can see them kind of right in there. There's a few more as you get up to the front, right up in here. I'm gonna leave the front door on for now. I'm gonna start with the rear door and the side skirt down there. I am also gonna take the little inner skin, the little door card, this little panel right here off so that it doesn't get scratched. I may have to take this panel off covering this pillar to get to that wiring harness back there. After that, it should just be this bolt right here holding that mechanism on, and you've got 2 bolts on this hinge and 2 bolts on the bottom hinge. Rear passenger door and the side skirt are off. You can see that I covered everything off here. I don't want any dust or anything getting in there, bugs. The inner door card panel is inside of there. The front door pretty much works the same. So you just have to pull this little tab out right here. And then there's another one up here at the top. You'll have a screw behind there. You'll have a screw behind there. And then on the rear door, there is another screw on the inside. On the front door here, it's on the outside. And then I like to start from the bottom, just start pulling. Sometimes it does take a little bit of force, but those tabs will pop out. And from there, you have to remove a little wiring harness right here. And then lastly, I just removed the whole handle. It is one screw and this whole assembly comes out of there. I just zip tied it up there temporarily so it holds everything in place. If you are a big boy, which I'm not anymore, you may be able to muscle this yourself, but I did get the wifeski out here to help me. Front door is exactly the same. So once you start removing these two bolts up top, and then there's two more down here at the bottom, what I did is I just removed one from the bottom and then one from the top, and then I had Brittany remove the last two. Once the last bolt is out, the door will literally come right out of there. This harness will come straight out of there also. It will actually come out with the wiring harness. The wiring harness is just kind of tucked away in there. So once you actually pull the door away, the harness where you can actually disconnect it will pull out of there. You can see here on the door where the other end is. After that, it is home free. Really not that bad of a process. Side skirt is also pretty easy. You've got these 10 screws holding it in from the bottom. Started with the front, just kind of grab it, start pulling. It does take a little bit of force, but those clips will start popping out. You can see here, this is what they look like, but they are in there pretty good, so it does take some force. Be careful at the very end. On the back here, there is this little hook that's holding it in. After that, it just comes right off. As far as the bodywork goes, this is new territory for me. I did have to repair some cracking on the front lip at one point, but aside from that, I have never actually repaired a panel. I painted the aprons and the front lip from bare plastic. The wheels and calipers I just had to sand down. I didn't actually do any repairs on them. The initial knockdown, for the most part, I think I'm just going to be using my DA. I really bought these for the primer stage, but I may end up using these as well. They're just a 3 set of blocks. I got a lot of different sandpaper options here. I'm probably going to start with 180 to knock it down with. I'm not going to do anything in here. I'd like to keep the car as clean as possible, so I'm going to do all of my sanding outside. I'm going to open up the garage door, take everything around to the side over there, and then get started. Rear passenger door is sanded down with 180 grit. As you can see over here, this is where all of those really deep scratches were at. That's why it's down to bare metal. You can still see a few other little pinholes in there. I also tried to get all the other little pieces. You can see where it's been sanded down all the way up to this little line, this body line. Side skirt is over here, same thing. Back over here was the worst of it. That's where all those chips were at. I did go through and clean up all the other little areas that had some rock chips. I've actually decided to just leave the side skirt alone for now. I'm not going to do anything else with it in this video. I went ahead and removed the front passenger door, as you saw, with the size of both of these doors and the little makeshift painting booth that I use in my garage. I don't believe that it's going to be big enough for all three pieces, and this is just a very, very long piece. I'm going to work on painting that whenever I start working on the wing and trunk back here. For the front door, you can see I got it taped off there. It comes off just like the rear door does. You got this hinge, you've got your 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then here is your wiring harness. I can't show you right now because it is all taped up, but on the inside here there is one plastic piece. There is a plastic nut that holds it in the back there. Once you pull that off, the piece just pops out. There are 2 wiring harness clips that you have to remove. These are the 2 right here. Once you remove those and you get the door off, this thing should just slide right out of there. Front door was not as bad. You can still see here where I hit every little piece. I did make one little mistake. My plan is to blend into the door. I don't actually want to clear coat all the way up. I want to stop right here at this body line. Really didn't want to sand anything above about halfway, but I ended up coming up here. You can see when I get down really low where the top spot is right here at this top one. I am still going to try to blend it. I'm going to try to make this work. I want to feather all of these edges. I want to get basically the whole door sanded down here. So I'm going to do some 320 just around the edges. Anything else will get 600. Once everything is sanded, I'm going to get it all taped up. Like I said, I'm going to stop at this body line right here, and then I will back tape all of this over here on the underside and then the other side over there. Once I get everything sanded and taped up, I will lay down some primer and get it blocked out. doors are back in the garage, sanded down, taped off, and they are in primer. Did block out the primer already, however, I am going to have to redo some areas. I was able to get all of the edges sanded down where I had it down to bare metal. And like I said, I just hit the rest of the door with 600 grit. I did also peel a few little pieces off of this and then did the edges on the door. After I got everything taped off really good, made sure that nothing was going to spray up here or down here, laid down some Rustoleum self-etching primer on all the bare metal areas. Then from there, I laid down the filler primer. The past couple of years on just little projects, I've used the Proform direct-to-metal primer. The guy at the paint supply shop said this would be a good alternative. One thing I will say, this stuff is very, very, very thick. It will definitely fill in. Stuff sprays so thick that it does require a 1.7 tip at least. The primer gun that I have always used is my little Harbor Freight purple gun. It is a 1.4 tip. It did spray it, but there was a little bit of drippage. What I mean by that is when I would pull the trigger in, when it wasn't hooked up to the air supply, it would just slowly drip out instead of a steady stream. By the way, I was able to get it on there, no issues, but I do need to upgrade my primer gun. Finally, last thing that I did was block sand all the primer. I actually was not able to finish. Front door, I did use the guide coat on. Maybe it's just me being a newbie and not knowing how to use it, but it seemed to take forever to sand it all away. Still see some of these little 320 grit scratches and it's filled in there. I am going to sand on this some more later on. I'm not sure if it's okay to just paint over that or not. Aside from that though, this front door is completely smooth. The rear door, I decided not to use the guide coat on. I may actually do it before I paint it though. I would like to finish this up and continue on today, but it is actually starting to rain a little bit outside. You can tell the weather's been really crappy out there for the past couple of days. Trying to dry sand all of that with all that moisture landing on there, it causes that primer to just clump up everywhere. I don't want to sand any of this in the garage. I'm really trying to keep it as clean as possible for now. I am going to end the video here. Honestly, I'm really happy with the progress. Both doors are off. Even the side skirt down there is sanded already. Still makes me a little bit nervous. I haven't tackled this big of a painting project yet on the car, but it does feel really good to have all of those deep scratches and rock chips sanded out of there. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope that you learned something out of it. I learned a lot. If you liked it, please smash that like button. If you want to see more going on with the Evo, if you want to see the doors get painted, please hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think, any suggestions, any advice, and I will catch you guys next time.